Okay, I'd like to call the COA board meeting for January 15th, 2026.
January 20th.
January 20th, 2026.
Okay, I thought you said January 15th.
No.
I'm hearing things too.
It is currently 9:45. That'll call the meeting to order, and this meeting is being recorded by Area 58. Okay, can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Okay, so we will look for the October minutes and approve the October minutes at the February meeting.
Going through stuff now, because I brought in a whole bunch of stuff, but when we didn't meet on, for the bylaws and stuff like that, we were gonna approve them, and that was in October 21st, 2025. So, this is what I found for October, the agenda.
Yeah, I have that too.
Yeah, and then I made everybody a copy of the bylaws. We were gonna approve all that, remember?
So it's like, yep, and can we do that as we go down the agenda?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just looking through all my paperwork there.
Okay, so we had no meeting held on November 18th, and we had no meeting on December 16th. So moving on to the director's report, number 8 is a budget update.
Budget's going pretty good. We got the revolving accounts, which is transportation, and also the gifts and activity. And we're pretty good with that in terms of the funding and so on. We did get awarded 2 additional grants for entertainment. I just received the grant awards last week, and they were for $500 each. Plus then we got an additional $500 from our district attorneys for the triad. So I'm going to be writing another grant so that hopefully we'll get another $500.
And that goes into your gifts and activities account?
No, the triad goes into the triad account, the 500 for each of the Mass Cultural Council, that just paid directly to that stays in an account
Oh,
here.
that's a Mass Cultural
Yeah,
account.
it's Mass Cultural Council.
So it pays for
Yeah.
whatever performer you ask them
and
to
then
pay for.
as we know that we pay any of the gifts and activities that we do have. Some of the gifts and activities that we do have, or the activities we have, some of it gets paid out of that gifts and activity because a lot of people donate money. We did get a letter from an attorney in reference to a resident that had passed, and she had donated $1,000 to us as well for the gifts and
wonderful.
activity. So we're good, in good standing in that regard. And the transportation, we are thankful for GATRA and the way it's working. It's a lot of work for paperwork, but when we get it done, it's rewarding in the end. And I actually talked with the town administrator, the interim town administrator, Bob, to see how we're supposed to set this up. And he was very good about recognizing the fact that we should have been setting it up so that, or it has its own account, but that if we take money out to pay a bill from each department, like IT, highway department, because they pay for the fuel, it should go back into their account. So this is going to be a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because now it's money that goes in, and then it has to be distributed back to the departments that...
Does GATRA have specifications on how you can spend that money?
Well, I
Or you
requested
can-
that, yeah, I requested that from the actual, the accountant there, to let us know if in fact, how we should be spending that. But it makes sense, logically, if the highway department has to pay for the gas, and we're taking gas from the highway, if we're taking and using the GPS or the phone systems and computers and so on to do the report, then that's from IT. And then, of course, the wages for the van drivers, the use of our vans for the insurance and so on, that actually comes out of a different budget. So what's going to be difficult is now that we, thankfully, Bob and I were able to work with this. I've been trying to express that we need to figure this out, and because it's our first real true year to do this, and then the account monies can't just sit there. It has to be dispersed back to wherever it came from.
Do the other departments, like the PD, fire department and everything, how do they do it?
I don't know how they would do it, except for that, from what I hear, is that they distribute it back to, like, it comes out of that grant, and then it goes back to the departments that are actually spending the money. So that's the way it's going to have to work. And Bob,
But GETRA is specific to the
transportation,
to the
seniors.
COA.
Yeah.
Right, like the police department doesn't get
Is it-
No, but she was just asking
No,
if it's
it's
the
just
same,
when they
she
use
was
the
concept.
gas.
If it's the same model, she was just asking
Yeah.
that. And knowing how they do it, maybe that's the way they could set up. So, and then Lindsay had recognized too that's a way which, so it was just a discussion just last week, which was a good thing at my budget meeting. So I was like, I just want to know why it's just sitting there, because it's a lot, per month. So anyway. So budget-wise, in that position, we are looking good. We're just waiting for now the approval of my budget, which I just met last week, so it should be in good shape with that. And let's see, where else we got? The activities plan for events and so on. So in 2026, boy, there's a lot.
I know.
We got a lot going on, which is good. It's a good thing, and I'm glad that we were able to. But the hard part about what's happened is that when I'm planning all these different things, some of it's grant funded, some of it's not, some of it's coming from here. So it's coming from different places, and then we're finding places to have it. So we are having, and plus I'm helping support the triad with getting speakers to come in as well. So that's a good thing. But we do have Social Security coming in. Delia DeMello, she's a Metropolitan Director. She's coming on March 5th. She's going to be talking at the library. So we've reserved the room for the library. And then we also have a comedy night or comedy afternoon. And that's on February 11th with Johnny Peasy. He's supposed to be really fun, so well, hopefully he is. We look pretty nice. That's going to be Henrich Hall. And that's on February 11th. And we also had a grief counseling session this month, which was awesome. It turned out, it was very informative for some of the consumers. I think once it catches on, we'll see how it goes. I went to the class yesterday, despite the fact that we were closed. The seniors wanted to have a continuum of classes going forward. So I said, yeah, sure, I'll come in. And so we were to have a class. So Sole Purpose opened up their doors to let us have a class yesterday, and even the snow and everything else. So, it's the strength training class, which is awesome. We want to add more activities as we go along. Hopefully, when we have our center at some point, it'll be so much better and easier. I know. So just be easier to bring all these nice activities in and be more wellness oriented. And then what else we have coming up? Let me see. Oh, we do have the Red Cross coming in. We arranged for Red Cross to come in through Triad, which is on February 2nd. And they're going to be talking about the ways that they can be supportive in an environment after a fire, but then also what they can do before fire, and some of the things that the chief could actually access. So, whether it be like carbon monoxide detectors or fire alarms, but there's a lot of stuff that I didn't realize until I met them, that they can actually provide to the consumer, whether it be the blankets, the fire blankets, or other information or other items that they could use in the event that there is a fire. But more importantly, when they hear of a fire, in which we did have one here in town, that they come through to find out what was the source, and they found that this person didn't have the fire alarms set up in their home and things of that nature. So they're trying to be proactive with that. So let's see what that goes.
Interesting.
So we did connect with the Holmes Library in terms of a lot of the, and of course, Halifax Mobile Estates. They've been allowing us to use the spacing, which has been really awesome.
What are the fees once they start charging fees, or if they do?
$150 if we have to rent the hall.
Yeah.
Like, say I wanted to have the Zumba class come back, I was thinking maybe we could have Zumba there, because then maybe we could get the instructor to come in during the earlier mornings, at like 11 o'clock, and
But $150 is for the 1 hour of the hall?
use of the hall. So I think if we had to do it every week, I don't think they would allow us to do that, but to have an event here and there, which actually kind of benefits them, like the comedian. Now, we'll pay through the grant, but that's the only spot we could have it that would be, an area where we could have a number of different people. So that they wouldn't mind. And of course, the park benefits from it because it's entertainment. And like I said, hopefully it will catch on, and we would like to continue to have some kind of comedy relief or some kind
Well, if you're putting it out to the park, maybe they would waive the fee.
Yeah, they would.
They might lower it, but
They wouldn't waive
it
it.
would depend on the board of directors, but
It does. We already did.
I mean, even we have to pay a fee.
Right.
Personally,
Oh, if you
we
wanted to
wanna
rent it.
Rent it.
Yeah.
And it's lower than that, but I'm
That
sure
seems
that,
like so much money.
yeah, I mean, that's,
But I mean, they've been really good. If I've asked for certain things, they've been very accommodating, and we have to respect that because it's private property. And, I totally, they've been really wonderful about that. So anyway, so going forward, I'm just mindful of the fact that if we were going to have a class every week, I wouldn't do that because of the fact, it's space that they could use
now,
for
is
something else.
any of that refundable if it's returned in,
I don't know. From what I heard,
I
because
know.
we've never had to pay, but
Yeah, see, when we have to pay, we pay a certain amount, and then after it's over, if everything is okay, then we get a certain amount back. I'm not sure how much it is now, but, because the rules have changed. But, so I don't know if that's...
Kind of like a security fee.
yeah, like
Sort of, yeah.
if it's not clean,
If it's not
then
clean.
For an example, we pay 75, and then we get 25 back at the end. Those aren't the right amounts, because I don't remember, but that's the way it works.
So the Great Hall is totally off the table then for anything like that?
We're just talking about Hemorrhage Hall.
No, I mean, this,
Yeah.
For the Great Hall, I don't think we get charged for the Great Hall,
no, we're not
right?
charged, but we can't access it.
no, we can't. So what? Okay, I think that's it. So I'm supposed to say it gingerly. So okay, so we don't have a community room, so we cannot use the Great Hall Monday through Friday when the town hall is in business.
But
Okay.
they're closed Fridays.
Yeah.
But wait a minute, Fridays what has happened, the doors were supposed to be unlocked at a certain time and they weren't. So the instructor hands me a bill because she shut up. So
Oh,
she
I
needs to get
remember you
paid.
telling me.
So I said, so it didn't happen, but it happened a couple of times. So I felt as though $50 each time, that's to me money out of our gifts and activity.
And you did end up paying her?
Yeah, I have to. Yeah, she showed up.
Yeah.
But the point is, I need consistency, and then the seniors get upset with me because they think that it's my responsibility to make sure the door's open. Yes, it is, but if we can't reach the person that unlocks that door, then I don't have any control over that. So, I mean, things happen, okay? So we need to make sure, so when I try to reach out to, I was trying to see if I can connect with other senior centers for this particular activity to continue Zumba, because I know that Kingston has a nice Zumba class. They have about 30 people in that class. They have a lot of people in that class. So I thought maybe if we kind of use their space for some time until we get ours, things will get better. It's just right now, it's a little bit touchy right now, and unfortunately, the sad part is that we always had use of the Great Hall, and now all of a sudden last year, of July 1st of 2025, we were no longer able to do that. And it's like all those other years we've had that use of that space, and it's just all of a sudden.
Because you don't want to, like with that, like why wouldn't they allow you to use the Great Hall on?
Because
It's the noise factor.
Well, the noise,
No, but
on Fridays.
when they're closed.
No, we could use it on Friday. It's
Yeah.
just that we can never have the consistency of that door unlocking all the time. It has to be unlocked because it's locked. So it
Right.
has to be remotely unlocked,
Right.
period.
But did you talk
So-
to the town administrator about, like, trying to work that out so that the door?
Yep, so he did say that in fact, that it is an occasional thing, but they could still have an activity there. The other part too, we were paying for, 2 people were going to the class, the Zumba class, and, we pay the $50 no matter what. So I just feel like if we want to maximize what we're getting out of there, maybe if we had it a little bit earlier, but see, the instructors changed their schedule to accommodate us because of the closing of that time, because she used to come at 11 o'clock, which was perfect, because people like to get up in the morning, get going, but at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, people are gone, and now and they're
They're
starting to
tired
do.
already.
Yeah, they've already been through like, a whole bunch of different
How
things
much
in the
time to
morning.
think about, do I really want to go to this?
Or even in
Nap
the
time.
winter months, but the point is that it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and now we just have an occasional 1 or 2 people, and I thought, wow, that's kind of shameful, because we need to see if we
Yeah.
can try to move it to another time. So to try to find a location for her, to get the instructor to come back, is to find a new location, but then someplace that is going to be always, you're going to have access to
Because
it
those
at
1 or
all
2
time.
people are paying, what, $5 for the class?
Yeah, they'll pay
Yeah.
$5. So it's basically $40, so.
They're losing a lot to Pembroke. They're losing a lot to Pembroke now
Yeah.
that they've got that new big
Yeah.
building.
Yeah, and then the features on that building is a community space. It's a huge, it was meant, and it was created as actually almost like a YMCA. The gentleman that does run it, he's phenomenal, and his mind is business oriented, and he understands the why and understands working out in all aspects of, ages, so it's really geared towards the community, not just the senior community, but it is geared that it has the indoor track and everything. It has, and they're open to accommodate the seniors. So if you're 60 and over, no matter what town you come from, you can access their center for $5 for the year or something. It's a small amount of money, I know that. But other than that, if you're less, if you're under 60, then it's like, a small stipend as well. So I think, I don't know, $30 or something. But, so they are welcoming, the way they've devised that community space, and it is open to all ages. Yeah. So, let's see. Plymouth County, so Plymouth County Sheriff's Department, as well as North River Collaborative, donated their skills to clean up the town hall, to clean up the senior center, Pope's Tavern around, because we're talking back in October when we were taking things down, and afterwards, so now, but And then we had them clean the inside upstairs, so everything's bundled now. So we had a lot of material and things of that nature. So the students came in, 2 students, Brendan and Connor, and you probably have met them. They've cleaned up after each of the social coffee hour. And they come every Thursday, and they've been really very helpful. But also, too, they were able to connect with the district attorney's office, the sheriff's department, go to Triad, and it's to them, the kids benefit from that as well. And it's a great way to that intergenerational, but also, too, for the North River Collaborative School. It's been a really blessing for them, but it's a blessing for us as well, for them to come in and support us. They've vacuumed, because I know we've, had some shortages for, maintenance and so on, but barrels were cleaned, they vacuum all the frontage, especially now with all the sand that's coming in. So they've been really helpful like that. And of course, the Plymouth County Sheriff's Department, they came down and put all our decorations up, and then they cleaned everything out in the frontage, all the dead debris and everything. And they were really helpful. So we had to buy them lunch. That was the only thing. So it was all good. It was worth every cent.
I would have done it for lunch.
It was sandwiches. I'm like, they were going to, like my cooking, but so sandwiches were just as good. St. Bridget's offered, from Abington, it's just been a cool little thing that the three-year-olds in that preschool, something like a little community service. They reached out to us, but also in Abington as well. But, so they reached out to us last year, and again this year, and they donated, the kids got to donate their Halloween candy to the seniors. So that was a nice thing. So job description, going on to the chair's report.
Yep. So I only have this draft, and we all just have the draft of this job description document that you wrote, and I know at the last meeting I had changed a few things, and thank God Judy had written it down.
Yep, and I did make the changes too.
Good, perfect.
Yeah, I did all those things and I sent them along, because as soon as when I leave here, I'm trying to, make sure that these things are taken care of right away.
So I don't think I have this in my email too.
Yeah, it is there. I know I sent everything to everyone, but I don't know.
Do you have the document with you? And maybe I can ask someone to make copies for us?
Well, I think hold on one second. Because when we leave here, let's see, we had the bylaws, right? Oh, here.
Well, this is COA board member onboarding.
Yeah, it's right here. It's right here. So, because I made the holes in them and everything for you. Don't forget, I've been kind of operating solo here.
No, I know.
You know what I mean? And I did follow through with it, because when I do something, I follow through with it.
But if
all right,
you have
so here they are right here.
Yeah.
It's all right here. See, it was done back in October. 2, 3, 4, 4. Okay, so we pass those down.
Oh, perfect.
Okay. It's just a matter, there's so much paperwork. That's why I like to send them. Thank you. Then I'll get Pat's. And, sorry, did you get one? Oh, I think you got one. Okay.
So we can dispose of the old one?
Yeah, I guess so. And why don't we just review this, and then you can make sure that the updates were changed to the way it was noted in our last meeting. Yep. See, I have it written down, revised October 21st.
Yep.
Okay. Let me see this stuff here.
only thing that's different, and I don't think that it really matters, but I think we were gonna put that the chair was in charge of sending the letter to the...
That's what I have.
To the person, but as long
Has it
as...
under board?
Well, I think the board would have to obviously know of that fact, and like, we would have to talk about it at a meeting, and then, if somebody brings up that the town bylaw has been violated, then we'll talk about that at the meeting, and then we can then decide who's gonna reach out. But I don't think anybody should reach out to a board member unless we talk about it at a meeting, because we wouldn't know the circumstances or something like that, so.
Where are you reading?
We're reading on the second page under excessive absences, and I think that I wanted, the last time we talked, I wanted to say, well, the chair should be the one.
Which bullet one is it, under boards?
Under COA board chair duties.
Okay,
right at the bottom, and it's excessive absences.
Oh, okay, yep.
And I think last time we talked about this, I wanted it to be clear as to who was gonna reach out to that person. But now, I'm thinking that we don't really have to be clear about that. We just have to be clear about that we talk about it as a board at the meeting, because maybe this person has been sick or something, still wants to be on the board and so they might have been talking to somebody, and that they shouldn't have to worry that they're talking to the chair, basically. So I think any excessive absences should be discussed at a board, and that discussion can be, well, let me reach out to that person.
Okay,
So I don't think we have to change anything.
okay, so that's sufficient there?
I think so, yeah. I'm just saying, saying that we wouldn't, no single person on the board should take it upon themselves or be responsible for contacting somebody.
Oh, no.
It should be a board decision.
Oh, cool. Yeah, and I think we had discussed that too.
Yeah.
So just take a look at everything else and just approve it, and then I can get this revised. Hopefully I'll find it where I put it on the computer. I was like, okay, which put it?
So we did ask to put this in, but I know Halifax called advisory board chairperson may not serve more than 3 years, so.
Okay, where is that?
I think that's on page 2, right at the top.
Okay.
Page 3, right at the top.
So, okay, we
So,
wait. Let's see.
Unless there is no
okay,
new
may not
candidate
serve more than
available.
3 years.
what does it say?
Unless there is no new candidate available.
Oh, there you go.
Boing. Yeah, we
Little thing.
Yeah.
You want the job? No. We have a lady that does a great job.
We're good with this.
So we can always put that back out into the newsletter again, and
That we're looking for new members?
yeah, so, it's funny because when we have people that want to volunteer, we have really some people coming forward and new people that we've never met before and ask, if they could
I know, I keep
volunteer. I'm like,
asking
yes,
Madeline.
the advisory board, and they're like, oh, that looks hard.
Ask Madeline. Because she'll be at categories, I think.
That would be nice.
I'll do my best.
Judy, you'll work it. You can work it. Yeah, so hopefully it would, because I look around at other centers and I see 12, 15 people on their board, and I'm like, wow, how do they get so many people on their board? And it's a nice variety of people too, which is nice.
Maybe they cover a bigger area. so
I
there's
don't
more
know.
people.
I don't know what I'm like. Come on down.
So Darlene, so Dylan from the library was just in, and he had his board meeting with the trustees, and they were talking about the snow day policy. And so I know when Cody was here, we were all on that group text about when town hall closed, and then we were all offices, and so that if town hall was closed, then the library was closed. But do you get notified somehow that the town hall is closed?
No, I would just have to wait till, it was posted somewhere. But you're right, we had the tree.
We had that
and it
went
was
through
notified.
all
Yeah.
of town hall, and we were all on that
Yeah.
message.
Yeah, I don't know what became of it, because of
Well, I
course.
think because Cody left.
Yeah, I
it's
know
not-
that, but I'm
yeah.
just saying, if somebody stepped in, they weren't going to make a decision if they were interim. I don't know. But the thing is sensibly and realistically, we would follow the same format, except for, yesterday I came in with the holiday, but like the snow days and stuff, we would follow the same thing, because it's, the weather is not a really good
Right,
thing.
right. Well, the library's policy was always if the school closes, then the
close.
library closes.
Yeah, we would be unison, I would think, because we're
but then
municipal.
But I read that for us somewhere too, that if the schools are closed, the COA is closed.
Yeah, it's always
But
been that
then
way.
there's always, but then there started being like, they would call school, and then it would be like a beautiful day. You know what I mean?
So
And
how are you notified right now?
we would mean, so right now, that's what he's asking, how would we be notified?
Well, first and foremost, we haven't had any really severe weather until now.
Right.
Okay?
So basically, nobody's notified.
So last
So there's
year.
no snow line or anything? that
No.
you can call in?
No,
No.
because, so last year, we didn't have inclement weather. So the thing is that there was no, we've always had the tree.
Yeah.
For the 4 years I've been here, so 5 years now. But the thing was, it would always follow that. But now going forward, last year, we didn't have any bad weather to cause and so we don't know what the procedure is now. But it would be nice to see, maybe this new town administrator will actually make a decision as to how they would like to handle that. But we would follow the same thing, the same.
Yeah, no, I was wondering what you followed since we don't have that tree
I
anymore.
don't know, right, that's just.
So, yeah, you're just kind of going with town hall too and waiting to hear if town hall is closed.
Yeah,
So basically, if town hall is open, you wouldn't close the senior center. You would wait to find out if town hall is closed before
And
you
also
decided to close.
Well, here's the deal. The other thing too is we also used to have a HEMA, the Halifax Emergency Management, and we still have it, but Chief Chavs and Chief Witham oversee that department. And if the senior center had to be open, that would be the only decision to open if it was just a warming station, not a shelter. Shelter's different, but warming station if we had to do that. But they've always made arrangements with Hendrich Hall, and Hendrich Hall, what if Hendrich Hall said, no, you guys can't do that anymore? Then we would have to find another space to have people come for chargers or plug in and whatever, but it would be a warming area for that short time. That would be the only reason why we would open if that was that, case like that, but we've never had that yet, but it would be nice to have a policy in place for that. But it's common sense too, follow the same format as the other departments,
When we get the new building, it would be much easier. This one here, it's not really safe to open it up for people to come in anyway.
Well, it's not safe out
And
here.
we're limited.
Right.
So we can only have so many people.
Right, exactly. And that's the other thing too, and that was a very prior year, probably 2023, we had some issues, electrical, the electric lines went down, or we lost, seniors did lose their electricity for almost a week. And those people were looking for places to go, and they're like, well, where do you put the seniors? And I'm like, well, we have space here, but you can come and use to plug in your chargers or your phones. But other than that, for you to stay over, we don't have that capacity for them to stay as a shelter. So, and that would be a call for the fire department as well as the, the police department. But so far. But their electric lines did go down in some of the areas. I guess it did affect some of Halifax yesterday. So, certain sections.
Duxbury was out.
Yeah, Plimpton, because coming here, driving from where I was, Plymouth, to here, Plimpton, there were lines that were down, the fire department was down on Mayflower.
Even this morning?
No, yesterday, when I was
yeah, I
coming in
saw a post
yesterday.
this morning.
Yeah, so I felt bad because they were still there when I left, you know, they were there in the morning, and then when I left yesterday, they were still out there, the fire department as well as the police, and
I was coming home on Sunday, and I was coming down Oak Street, and the lines were almost to the ground, they were looped. And I thought, that's odd.
The snow was so wet.
Yeah, there
But
was
that
heavy.
before the snow.
Yeah.
Oh, it was before the, wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Boy, when they fell.
it
in
was
the cars
Sunday
on Oak
afternoon,
Street.
so I'm sure that anything after that would just make it worse.
So we're all good with the job description? I can
Yes.
go forward? Okay, cool. All right, so then I'll clean this up and then put, and then send it back out, but then we should put it in our book without the
Well, I don't know,
updated.
mine's in my book, I don't really mind that it has this updated.
Updated? You sure?
Yeah,
That's
okay,
fine.
it's fine
All
to
right,
me.
all right, sounds good.
It doesn't
At least
say
we'll
draft,
know.
so we'll know.
At least we'll know,
Yeah,
yeah, it won't be a little at the bottom of the
Because
page.
we're always asking, 2
I
years
know.
from now, we'll be saying, well, when was it done?
Because it says right here, I put it down at the bottom in blue.
Oh.
Yeah, but this is better.
Okay.
This is better.
Or I can say approved by the board today. And then we'd be wondering, how come it
Well,
took
that
them
should
3
be in
months
the
to
minutes.
approve it?
Yeah, that should be in the minutes, that we approved
Yeah,
this today.
I will, yes. So, and then,
Yay, put that behind us.
yes, well, thank goodness, okay. So that was done, and
Oh, we
then,
have to vote on that. No,
We have to vote. Whoops.
So someone needs to make a motion?
yep,
I make a motion, we approve the boarding.
amen.
I second the motion.
So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion passes unanimously.
I guess to conflict of interests, we all got to do that again? Did anybody get their email?
I think I did mine.
You did yours. Did it
Yeah.
come? I had to redo mine, so I just did mine. They notify you, so just
Yeah.
be in the
Yeah.
watch for it. If it
Yeah,
comes
they
up, you
do.
got to do it.
But see, it's not coming through.
I know. We'll have to talk to Caesar on that one, on the IT. Yep. And see what's going on the emails, so, don't know. Okay. So, new business. Need volunteers to help put together welcome packets. So, I've been trying to do this one for a while. So when we have volunteers, I always like to have, like, or when people come in, we've had new people coming in, which is awesome. And I always like to give them a little welcome, packet that would say, okay, the resources, this is that we do, some of our newsletter, things of that nature. And so we would need to have some volunteer at some point to help us put all these together. I don't
I'm
know.
sure the people that help do the newsletter would be willing to do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, we need to, they put those together.
What else are you
It's good.
thinking you want? So the newsletter, the brochure, what else would you want in that packet?
Well, I don't know, I'm asking your opinion too. I think,
Sometimes we can put in something like, a sheet of paper, tell us, about yourself, what do you enjoy doing, what type of things are you interested in volunteering for?
well, that's the letter of intent, what do you call it, that we have. It actually defines all that. So if you're interested in volunteering.
talent sheet.
Yeah, talent bank sheet tells you that. Asks those
Yeah,
kind of
but
questions.
But then you have to go back to, you know what I mean?
And if
I would
they-
have like a little sheet that just says name, address, what are your interests, what would you be interested in volunteering for?
Yeah, the talent bank form would be in their folder. We could keep that private, in their folder, but
But what else do you want to put in
But
the
I just,
packet?
it's not individually specific to that individual. We're designing it so that it's it's general,
Right.
for
But
volunteer.
you only have 2 things in the packet, so.
Well, I don't know yet. That's why I'm asking your opinion, or everybody's,
Okay.
what their thoughts are. So I thought maybe have something like, what we've done in the past, or, the newsletter, look up, I need somebody to go in and research what other towns have done too, in terms of their volunteer packet. And that's a particular outreach thing too. So what
I can do
happens
that.
is, so what happens too, if you reach out to the outreach people in the different towns, they are actually, they do have a volunteer coordinator in some towns, but other towns do have the outreach that does that too. And they have maybe a special packet that they put together to give to the new person. And it gives them a little bit of an idea as to what we've done or what we're doing and some of the activities that we're offering and what we're planning to do going
What
forward.
about the kiosk, Kate, the one swipe?
And
You
we
put that in the
explaining
packet.
that, and that was happening. So what I've
Put the
noticed that,
application in.
that's a good idea. So that's the kiosk thing. So the key itself, make sure that they have that, and maybe have a checkoff list of what they should have. Because of sometimes, if you have a little format checkoff list, they should have a kiosk key.
Yeah, what's in the packet, you mean?
And then how to use the kiosk, because some of them were just coming in and they weren't putting in the hours that they put in. If it's 2 hours or whatever per week, we need to retract that or keep that, just to show that the dollars that we save by doing that. That's a good idea. So the key take and use of how the key tag works.
Oh, sorry, that's my ring.
That's all right. How
My husband leaving the house.
key tag works. So somebody on that committee would be wonderful to put together, just
How many do
something.
you like to have on hand?
Probably about 10. I mean,
Yeah.
because we probably
So
average.
it's easy cheesy.
Yeah, it's not a really, until we get to the new center, everybody want to volunteer.
All right, so I'll reach out to other towns and see what's in their packet.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. So it's kind of like redundant, I think, in B, possible look to establish second wind for help. So, retirees are coming in, there's a couple of people that, are retired, and we labeled them as the second wind. So, because it was just a cool name. Anyway, the Second Wind Club, and, those people would maybe form a committee of those Second Wind volunteers to get some more ideas and work with you guys too to support what we want to do out in the community, especially as we're growing with the new building going to be coming and the design of that new building and so on. So it'll be nice to have a formation of that kind of a committee so that they can work with us and, so we can provide additional items out there for our seniors. Looking to season into
But you would, if we, do move forward with the second wind, what would we do for funding? Like, just take it out of gifts and activity? Like, if we said the second wind wants to do that, and so, we would need some, I would imagine, we wouldn't need a lot, but just like Triad, they have their own little source of funding,
So depending on what they want to do, if they want to buy T-shirts for Walking Club, we have state grant funding that would support that. It's an activity, and it would be something that I want to see that we should do or could do, because I want that Walking Club to be, to come forward. So it's just we need to have somebody that's really been there, done that with all the activities and other programs and other centers, and be creative, because there's so much stuff out there that we could be doing. But again, too, the spacing is limited too. But there's a lot of fun stuff and things for guys too. Sorry to say this, guys, but there's activities that a lot of golfing. I mean, there's a lot of women that want to golf too, but even like the putt-putts and outside, we have a lot of equipment that we gathered from the program that we offered for the hybrid program, and there's going to be outdoor stuff that we could use going forward. So I think, getting people outdoors to really get engaged with, just instead of staying inside, when the nicer weather comes and stuff, we could go outdoors and be more proactive. A lot of materials. Yep, we have all the gardening facilities. We have someone in charge of gardening, someone in charge of the games, the different games that they have. Participating in the conference, they had the COA conference in October, and when I did that, we all shared our ideas in terms of activities. So there's a noodle activity that they played, like it was chair hockey. And it was a chair hockey game, and it was cute. It was a great game. Everybody had a great deal of fun, and a lot of fun doing it, and they were able to use the muscles up here, on their shoulders. So I'm like, wow, that's a cool thing. That we would have it. I mean, we could have it in that resource room, but it's really tight. But that's something we could, probably have in a community center, maybe on Friday, maybe, at 11 o'clock. But we got to get somebody to teach it. The other thing that we had was they had a lot of cool things. Now I think, what was it called? They kind of like, it was like, not the beach ball, where they, on the beach. No, gosh, no, they'd be heavy. It was actually a beach ball, and then they would hit it between
like
sides.
beach ball,
Yeah,
volleyball.
beach ball, volleyball.
Yeah. That is fun.
Yeah, that was fun too, so they had that. But that would be an activity, again, if we can get that instructor to do that, that would be great. So, anyway.
Yeah, it
so
sounds
we're
like,
looking-
so you need somebody that's going to coordinate, items, that,
Yeah. I mean,
thinking of activities.
I think for today's world, I'm very, I'd like somebody that is licensed to do it. There's a certain way to do it. There's a certain, to accommodate all people. If you're in a wheelchair and you want to participate, know how to approach it. Somebody with a good physical background, physical ed background that understands how to offer something like that. So that's where I come from, but I know...
Then you got to figure out how to pay that, right?
Yeah, I mean, that, again, could be a free activity, but it would come out of our grant funding, because we have grant funding to do a lot of good things like that. We're fortunate to have that.
But your person would have to be on payroll, right?
No.
Like that's what, no?
No, because if the person is, like the instructors now for any of the classes that we have, the activity classes, the collection of the funds, we collect the $5 and then...
Oh, no, I thought you were talking about like somebody to plan the whole...
Oh,
thing.
that's a programs coordinator. And our
Right,
programs
right.
coordinator's position is such that 20 hours of outreach, because then I support the outreach too, in addition to that 20, so it's basically more, because I'm overseeing that too with that outreach person if they need to, get in deeper into some of the things. So anyway, and then 20 hours of programming. And 20 hours of programming for our center now is plenty for us, and it's just a matter of knowing how to do it and actually making sure that it actually works well, and get the right people in place. So I've been out searching, so I keep my ears and eyes open and just listen for different people and make sure that they're certified in some kind of physical ed, so. Also, Kiosk Tuesday. So basically what was happening, I found, because there's been such a variation and we don't have a lobby where you can come in and you can actually have somebody there at the reception desk all the time. So we're a house, so people come in and they weren't registering, but they would hit the key and it wouldn't be the right thing, or even just for registering to volunteer. So they come in and register for volunteer, but didn't put the hours in. So having somebody at the door from even though it's a little area, but just make sure that, hey, greet them, make sure that they're registering correctly, based on what they're coming in for. And
So this is more the coffee hours, correct?
yeah, so it's Tuesday through Thursday from 9:30 to
okay.
11. So that's another volunteer thing, to come in and just stand and support that. So it's safe if there is somebody, because sometimes everybody comes in all at the same time. New people want to see the center, and then all of a sudden you're helping somebody else with all the coffee people come in at that time, and now it gets a little, you
And
know.
they come in the back door so they
Come
don't
in the
even
back
see the
door, yeah.
kiosk.
Yeah, so, you know, sometimes, yeah, so if you have that person there at the door, you know, eventually it'll become more prominent once we have a building that's more conducive to that. You're gonna have that center,
Do
but
most people remember their little cards when they come in?
no.
No.
And it happens too, but it's, so, yeah, and.
So is there a way for you to check them in, to tally it if
Yes.
somebody was there?
Yes,
Okay.
I would have to know who that person
Right.
is, of course, and if
So
you
just write
say
it down.
so-and-so did not have a key card, then, you know, you would be able to get them because they may have lost it, or, you know, you could reissue a new one for them, so,
Wednesdays are pretty good because we all
you guys do,
police each other.
yeah.
You know, if they come in the end, like, did you sign in?
Yeah.
And Diane's good because she'll come in near the end and she'll say, did everybody sign in?
Yeah.
But usually
So-
by that time, we've
Yeah,
edged
right.
each other on, so.
If people come in. The update on the Council on Aging design timeline. So just a little bit, and it's not, there has been, so we were invited, I was invited to go to this design team meeting. And then they asked if I would open it up to additional people, plus the Board of Selectmen, as well as the town administrator, make sure that the next meeting that they had, just to talk about the design itself. So they were just trying to extract from all the different people that enter the building or know about how we operate to some degree, and what their vision would be. And to get all these different perspectives, they asked us to all get together to talk about the design, not the fact of the site itself and digging and all that stuff, which the planning board was a part of that too, but for some reason, I don't know how that became that the planning board could have been or was involved with it initially. So I think what's happened, it's retracted. We're going to be meetings we were supposed to meet weekly. And then now with the planning board involved too, that we have to make sure that everybody's kind of all on the same page. So the design of the senior center right now, it looks what we've given them the ideas to put together and stay within the budget that we have. And now that they would get a lot of the bids that would come in, and there's going to be a timeline where in October they're stating that they would start digging. Once they work out with planning board and the area of digging and so on is okay. So that whole thing would be in October, and then start building, and then we would see a senior center within 2027 of
I
spring.
thought it was September. It went from April to September. Now it's October?
To build it?
Yeah,
No,
they were going to start in September.
maybe, but this is the timeline that they given, but they said
Yeah,
it's still working it out
Yeah,
with the planning
yeah.
board,
Okay.
but I can't show you that timeline until it's been
Oh, right.
formally designed, because it can fluctuate, and they want to be pretty concise as to, if they say it's going to be starting October, that they're going to start the actual digging and, going forward to start the project, that they want to make sure that it's going to happen.
So-
Because they have if it takes longer and they're not within the time frame, it's going to cost more. So they just very particular
Have
as to
they
this
started
time.
receiving bids yet?
Not yet.
No.
No, because they're in the planning stages right now.
So I had a couple of things, I was talking to earlier, but one thing, and I don't know if I can be at the meeting tomorrow, so if whoever's going to be there, on the design that they were showing us, and I talked to Darlene a little bit about this at the meeting, so you walk in and the restrooms are like over here, and then all the staff offices are over here, but the staff bathroom is directly across from the public bathrooms. And you know, having been at the library and you know everything that I went through with the bathrooms at the library, I'm hoping that they can move the staff bathrooms like in the back so that they're not so easily
Visible to the public, yeah.
acceptable. Because during the day, to have a staff have their own bathroom, I think is really, really important to the everything. So right now the design looks like the bathroom is like right there, and I don't know plumbing or plan, I don't know anything about that, but I did want that brought up so that that bathroom can be locked when the COA is closed. The other bathrooms, they're plenty big for anything that you're gonna have. So single-use bathroom by the staff, I think is really important. And I like, if I can't get there tomorrow, which I can only go by Zoom, so if you would send me the link, but I don't even know like where I'll be.
Well, they probably can leave it where it is, but make the door maybe in where the offices are.
Or keep it locked. You know, why couldn't we do a lock on it? You know, where...
Just like so people get used to, yeah, so if you guys could
Or
bring
like a
that up
punch
and
key.
talk about that.
I don't want keys, get away old-fashioned keys. So maybe like the code.
Yeah, the code.
Code
the
and
lock
enter.
code.
Yeah. And then that way there people wouldn't be
Yeah.
able to- So maybe they have to keep it in that, we'll find out, if they have to keep it in that area because of the plumbing, who knows?
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But I think all the offices should be locked after 4 o'clock, that they're not, you know, because if we're gonna open this up as a community center after 4 o'clock,
Right.
you wanna make sure offices are locked, that bathroom is locked.
Right.
And it's not like an extra room because somebody doesn't, you know.
Right.
And that's just really important to me. So if somebody can bring that up, that would be great.
Okay, well, yeah, I'll mention that tomorrow. So,
My other thought, and I was talking about this earlier, is I really want to make it clear to everybody that this is a senior center and that we can open it up at 4 o'clock to the community, and whatever happens after 4 o'clock, whatever rules, policies have to be in place, that's something Darlene can work with the selectmen on, that's fine. But before 4 o'clock, Darlene needs to be able to be in charge of that community room. And it's not to say that the Cub Scout can't come in at 3 o'clock, obviously, if it's available, but they can't reserve it until they get Darlene's approval. Yes, I don't have anybody in there. So basically, from 8 to 4, that is the senior center, and seniors take priority over like anything for that building. That's what it was designed for. That's what that motion was on town meeting floor for the $150,000. I'm gonna look up, I don't know how to do that just yet. Try to find that in the warrant if I need to, but I'm hoping that people would be agreeable to that without me reminding them that that motion was 100, because we wouldn't even be able to get started on this, I don't think, without that 150, so.
well, you know, the interesting thing is too that there's going to be a lot of different variations to something. Somebody's going to want to do something that you're not even going to think of right now.
Right.
So the
That's what a good policy is for.
So you can think you're thinking of everything, but you
Right.
really can't think of everything in advance, but you're hoping that you do because you're basing it on what other towns have done and learning from that. But I know that, so for instance, like just say even the pickleball courts or whatever, tennis courts or whatever they turn out to be, and I know they're pickleball right now, but maybe they will be also multi-purpose, you know, other things to do. So during that time, if there's somebody in the community that wants to use those courts, but then, it's the senior center time. I don't know how that's going to work out. That's a universal general spot that actually probably the residents could use, as well as the Halifax residents could use it too. I don't know. It's going to be private property, I would think, at some point. Who actually owns those? Will it be the municipality? Would it be the senior center class, community space? Is it going to be community space that is designated for, the residents there within the condo complex? So those are the kind of questions that, we, going back in the contract or that reading it, that's something that, maybe we could, talk about to the planning board and find out too, because I don't know what that's going to entail. And if in fact, we have to then set aside, hey, between these hours, the senior center will use it, and, have like a tournament of some type. It might be a thing where you registration, like you would for the gym. You reserve the space, and then you have an activity. And if it's not available, it's not available. It's going to be shared amongst a number of different group of people or individuals. So things like that.
Community to get senior center.
We got the good thing about, you got to keep this in mind, the good thing about what's going to occur is the fact, number one, the taxpayer is not going to be responsible for building this building. And yes, sure, water, yes, sure, the police and the fire department, whatever, but, I would think that over time, people age, people stay within the community they live in, they'll want to. So why not be mindful of that and also be a humanitarian and understand that it would be nice to have a center of this nature going forward, and it's something that it's needed. So if all the other stuff, we can figure it out, the solutions to certain things, certain, pickleballs and all this, who's going to use it for it? And then if you're going to have that tunnel vision on just that, you're going to make the other thing look negative and then turn the whole project into negative. It's not. You got to stay focused on what the main issue here is, to build a center, period. That is going to be a community center for all of us to use. We don't have one now, but then going forward, all the other stuff, there's always solutions that we can work out as individuals.
So are you saying that you don't agree that during the hours of 8 to 4, it shouldn't just be
No,
specifically?
I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is that we, what I'm saying is solutions to a lot of different things that come up as we grow. It's gonna, we'll be able to find those solutions, but the main emphasis is that community space, to have that building for the senior center, for the community later on, and how we, talk about that with, the community. But again, the community is not paying for it. It's coming out of funding that came from the state. As we remember, the 1.2 was left over from money they had borrowed. Okay, and it was drawn from that, and that $750,000 free cash was the other additional funding. So the point is that it's not money that's coming out of taxpayers' pocket. So to utilize that space as, for senior center, it's for the senior center.
Because anything opened after 4, somebody's going to have to man the building, somebody's going to have to be responsible and be
Right,
there.
and I'm assuming that, right, and I'm assuming that will all be like figured out.
Right.
No, but the point is I already have the form to when you rent it. So say you wanted to come in.
I was going to ask that, yeah.
Yeah, so if you wanted to rent the space, they could rent it. They'd have to sign an agreement that, in fact, that it would be an agreement. Actually, we did this in Kingston, is that we signed the agreement, the person who wanted to rent it for whatever time period, and they would have to make sure that it's clean, and they would have to put a deposit down on that. so to utilize it. And we have to make that decision too, not us, maybe the town would have to make that decision, Board of Selectmen would have to make that decision whether or not what they want to charge. Because of course, then you have to have a maintenance crew that would pick up the trash, if they have some kind of a function.
Yeah.
And all that,
Have
and
somebody
cleaning
on
up
site.
the bathrooms afterwards, because people are going to use that. So, those are things that will come, because it's been there, done that. People have done it for years. It's not something, so vogue that you don't have any answers to. Those have answers to it. The thing is that the center itself is for the seniors to have activities, and we are going to be there, our staff is there all day. So, you know what I mean, for 8 hours anyway. So, and then offering activities
I
at
just think
nighttime.
that needs to really be clear.
Yeah.
I don't
But
see
we
why
don't-
they couldn't charge a small fee to pay someone to be there for a certain function. Somebody to open up and somebody to
That
close.
kind of would be in like the contract that
We
they would
wouldn't
be
have that, I'll
responsible
tell you
for.
why. Because maintenance, there is, senior centers have a maintenance person assigned to COA in some towns. Okay, they have a maintenance person. You go to Brockton, you go to bigger centers, but Bridgewater had one. The maintenance, oh, hey, something happened, oh, look, the light bulb's out, oh, right there. They were there. Kingston they split Kingston. That person did the schools, but also did the senior center. But it was there at nighttime. So we knew that that person was coming in, that maintenance person was going to be there all the time, every day, Monday through Friday, at 4 o'clock. And we knew that, hey, yeah, can you take this down or this down, or something happened and we had to have it fixed. But that's not how we operate here.
But
So they
after
can't.
4 o'clock, that's what I'm saying, that
Yeah.
would all be like a town decision. That's all, everything that's involved in opening that building up to the public use as a community center, that would all be
Yeah.
the town business. But from 8 to 4, like your maintenance crew comes in and cleans the building every day now. So I'm assuming every morning they would still come in and clean the senior center. But after hours, then that's something that everybody's going to have to talk about.
Yeah.
How they want to handle that. But that's
And
not,
that would
shouldn't
a
be.
maintenance thing, if they can do it, if they can have somebody in there. So, I don't know how to turn this phone off, sorry. I don't know how to turn this one off. So, yeah. So, yeah, anyway. But that would be a maintenance, if they have somebody that they would want to pay to do it, like 3 hours or something, or 2 hours to be there. But somebody has to be at the center too, that's the other thing. When we're in Kingston, I know that the director had to stay. When there's going to be an activity, somebody had to stay in that building that night to oversee.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
just don't
that's
let the
another
people
whole
in. Somebody had to stay.
That's what I was saying. You have somebody that will open it up for the
Right.
people that are coming in, and then to
I see.
close it up after the function is over. And they wouldn't have to stay.
Right,
They would just have to be there.
yeah.
So I would think a nominal fee would be worth their while.
Yeah.
I mean, might be able to get a volunteer to do it, but it would be better if they were paid a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I
to
know
make
in the
sure they do the
past,
job.
when there was a key, and I know this was really outdated, but there was a key at the police station that if a department head or somebody, like, I had an author event here in the Great Hall, like after hours. So they'd lock up the Great Hall, and then you would have to go and get, sign out the key, you'd have to, get permission to use the hall, and then you were responsible for, cleaning up and then locking the building. I personally, it gave me so much anxiety that I didn't want to be in charge of the town hall key and returning it to the police station. Oh, I lost the key.
Did you check all the closets before you left?
No, again, all these doors are locked, like, it's after hours, all
Yeah.
these doors are locked. So, I just want, that's what my thoughts are, that's what I'm gonna always be my thoughts, but I just feel like, I'm always just gonna keep saying it because I don't want to, it might get dismissed and nobody might listen to me, but at least I want to keep saying that.
Well, like Darlene said, though, it is a senior center.
What you think, though?
So say
I never
that,
would have think that it would kind
well,
of
say
snatch
that,
it away
well,
from
the
us.
Boy Scouts always like to, or the Scouts like to come and use the library, and they need it right after school from like 2 to 4. You might have a
But
program
I
that
think
takes
the whole key is it's
priority.
going to be called a senior center, not a community center.
Just want to make sure of that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, I got you. Yeah.
You know, or any other program. It's going to be a beautiful space to
Yeah.
have absolutely anything, and you have to think of all possibilities.
Yeah.
Are you going to open it up to people that are making money while they're there?
That's
And
true.
then we're not charging them money?
No, we will charge that. I mean, it has to, realistically.
That's why it would be so much, like, at 4 o'clock, let the selectmen worry all about that. And then before that, that's your
The director handles it.
responsibility.
Right.
Right.
And you could say, no, you can't use this building if you're going to make money. That's what we always did at the library. No, this isn't like, you can't, because if you open that up to people that like want to run these, you know, retirement seminars and stuff like that, it'll be used constantly.
Yep.
And I just think seniors need to take precedence over anything between the hours of 8 to 4. And I don't want that to be, oh no, this isn't a senior center, it's a community center. No, it's a senior center.
That's true.
That's what the money
Yeah.
was,
No,
that's my whole point.
Yeah, it's a good point. And the emphasis going forward, to keep reiterating it, I think it's a good thing to do. I guess we're maybe a little naive in terms of like, hey, who would snatch that away from us? Because that was the whole point of us doing this.
Right.
You know, like,
They're waiting in the wings for that beautiful space.
all right, and that's why, you know, it's just kind of like smoke and mirrors. We don't do smoke and mirrors. I think, listening to certain individuals, I could see where that would happen, and they're calling it, oh, community space, community space. You're right. And I could see that with certain individuals saying that, yes.
So I just think it has to be clear,
I hope-
I mean, it would have to be we could make a policy, but the selectmen would have to be behind that policy,
Correct.
I'm thinking, so.
Yeah.
But,
I think as we like get the design, you know, and as they start working it out, where they start getting the bids from different, the electrician and the plumber and all the different things, you know, from build the building, and, you know, in the meantime, we then start forming to understand what a policy and then present it to the board of selectmen to see what their thoughts are and how this is going to be called, you know?
Yeah.
How about the name of it too? You know, like the
that's what I mean.
senior
This has
center,
to be a senior center.
you know?
It's not, I'm hearing people say, we're building this beautiful community center. We're building a senior center that can be used by the
They're
community
thinking Pembroke.
after hours, yeah.
If it's available, right?
Right.
The Pembroke one's really unique because it is a community building. But look at the space. It has an upstairs and a downstairs, and it has all these rooms. If you
It has
toured
a
that,
walking trail
it's
inside.
inside and out. And so if you ever, I toured it, I saw it, and I saw where the senior center is. It's upstairs. You go in the elevator. I'm sorry, downstairs. Downstairs, yeah. And then you go down, and it's tucked inside. And then you go sit in the living area.
So does the senior center have their own space? I mean, that sounds, yes.
They have,
this
but
is
they're
an-
inside the community center.
Right, but they
But
have their
nobody
own
bothers them in
space.
their own
And,
space.
yeah, and then
We'll have a big
Plymouth.
space, but
Cal is
this
like
isn't gonna
that.
be that big.
No, but that's what I'm saying, what we
Yeah,
have.
that's why I think we have to be really clear
Right.
as to who, you know,
The timing of it.
yeah, that this is really a senior center, and yes, open that up to the community for whatever they want to do until, I don't care if they stay till midnight. You know what I mean? Like, that's all not anybody's concern except the selectmen's concern.
As long as it's available and all of the policies that have been established are followed. That's it.
Yeah, right, from 8 to 4, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That, my only concern is from
Can I
8 to
ask
4.
a question? Sure. What's a senior? What's the age of a senior?
I think that's in our
60 and older.
No, that's in
Well,
our
wait a minute,
mission statement, hold on.
Actually, AARP, it's 55.
I know.
55 or 52?
That's what AARP
55,
says. Now, if you ask a 20-year-old, what's a senior, they'd say a 30-year-old or 40-year-old. And then the 40-year-old would say a 50-year-old, I don't know, 55 years old. But, it's interesting because, what's old?
Well, that's in our, and I don't know why I can't find the mission statement.
Who is old,
But
you know?
we decided that in our mission statement.
Yeah.
And we should take, does anybody have a mission statement?
Yeah, somewhere. It's here. We did it.
Because I think it's defined as, I think we're talking, and we might, so if we might want to change that and go by I can't believe I don't have.
We have the mission statement, we have it right here.
So, good, what's it say? Oh, yeah, the newsletter. Good thinking.
But it's an old one, I think. I think it's old.
We just decided older adults.
Hold on.
Oh, look, Telling, you gave us a
Yeah,
volunteer packet.
yeah, I did, but that was, what do you, so we need to go back and...
Yeah, look at that. Okay, I'm going to take on that responsibility.
Oh, thank you.
And I'll come back at the next meeting.
So the Council on Aging's mission is to advocate for older adults, their families, and caregivers. We are the hub of resources to identify the health, social, and cultural needs of our community while promoting their independence, wellness, and dignity.
Yeah, we just kind of revised that, so that's fairly new.
Yeah.
Are you thinking you want to change that?
No, I didn't, no, you wanted to know what it said.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
reading it,
yeah.
So that, I don't think we want to change it though, right? Again.
No, I didn't know if you wanted to be
No,
more
it's be hard to
specific,
put
but I think,
I don't think you can put an age on it.
yeah.
It doesn't say, it doesn't have, it says we are the hub of resources to identify the health, social, and cultural needs of our community while promoting their independence, wellness, and dignity. Okay, and now let me just say, we have to be more dynamic, and like, if you look at Old Colony Elder Services, their website does identify, open up to all people. It doesn't just identify just 60-year-old, but, and I think that's the new wave of what's happening at the state level, is because this, we can't, the towns are trying to save money in terms of, the buildings and breaking things up and having so now they have rec departments with the library and with the COA and all-inclusive, the all-inclusive resort. And I think it's a kind of a cool thing, because if somebody came in and is a person that's taking care of a loved one that needs help for a specific reason, whether it's disability or whatever, at any age, then are they going to be turned away? And because they say, oh, you're not 60, I can't talk to you. I can't do that. I will never do that. But
So maybe
that's
not.
the old method, or way back when, when we were so defined as like, you have to be over 60 in order for me to work with you, or, accepting. But I think the way things are changed so much that, there's so many needs out there today. Social services is really taxed in terms of a lot of different things that have come up, from simple, transportation all the way to housing, and which has been a really challenge for a lot of people right now. But you know. So there's a lot of pieces that, you know, we work with all people to try to see. It's a hub, you know, it's a hub of we're not taking it in as a personal solution place, you know, or place to, you know, find some kind of, you know, we're not going to take the case in and be case management, but we will be able to work with the consumer to get to, you know, reputable resources out there that we know that have been effective for others. And, you know, by just even having people coming in to talk about their issues as a group, and that's where I brought that grief counseling person in once a month, just to talk about, wait, you know, if you want to come in and chat because things going on in your life, and, you know, sometimes working it through and talking with others, you learn from one another too. So we'll see how that goes, but, you know, I think, you know, just a lot of pieces to what we're going to be and who we are. And I think a lot of people just think of us as being old, but I don't even understand what that means, you know.
Wait till you get my age and then you will.
I know. Hey, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just how your body ages and your mind ages, and, you know, you could be 104 and still be wonderful.
There's
But
a guy,
I mean,
103 on our corner that comes out, you see him out raking leaves.
oh yeah.
Milton.
Yeah.
Oh, God, he's
You know.
amazing.
You know, I guess it's mind over matter. I don't know. And, you know, maybe 20-year-olds feel old.
Some do.
You know, I don't know what to say except for, like, it's a matter of the person, I guess, and how you see yourself. So there's actually I'm taking a course right now. It's called Mindspace, and it's a mindset, it's called, and it talks about how you see yourself as an individual and the growth opportunities out there. So say, for instance, if everything in your life had turned sour, how do you turn that sour thing into something positive? And, you know, and still grow and see that opportunities out there still exist, and bypass all the things that do happen in the course of life. And so it's really an interesting class. So, yeah, so I guess you gotta just stay focused and try to keep that space. Let's see, looking for space to have activities and carrying the food and resources to each event is challenging with COA staff using their own vehicles and credit cards to have events. So what I'm finding is when we do have a lot of these different events, you know, I'm just trying to make sure that we never say no, and we have these events. And always to be respectful of certain things that we do have is that we try to utilize as many outside sources that, for instance, Old Colony Elder Services, or OCES, has been wonderful and supportive of the communities. We work together, but they offer a traveling chef once a year that we could utilize and have a dinner, or a turkey dinner or something like that, but it depends on what we're looking to do. So when we have lunch and learns, they also provide a box lunch if we give them, it said 2 months in advance now, but you have to plan it. And this is an activities person, a programs person would know enough that they have to plan this out. It can't be like, oh, by the way, I forgot to order that, you know. But what's happening too, where we have the activity so scattered, we're lugging all this stuff back and forth, and it's been a lot.
So can I ask,
a lot.
Darlene, like, we have that outreach position that's not filled.
Not even posted.
Not even posted.
Not posted yet.
So there's no progress.
No. The town administrator asked that,
But no,
Bob said it
but
was
first,
couldn't do it,
my
but it
question
was-
is, do they take on the responsibilities of like a program coordinator, or are their duties completely outside of that?
well, knowing, so if I understand that question correctly, they would perform the outreach responsibilities of knowing what's out there. Like, hey, Medicare's coming up. being able to get that into the newsletter and understand what's actually, so most of them are Shine certified, and they would know that something's coming up. Hey, this is going to be changing next year. Let's get that
Do they
newsletter
plan
out to people.
programs at all, or
Do they what?
plan like these programs? Like, are they a
Yeah,
program
so what we
coordinator?
would do, you know, whoever would, most of the time, yes. So they would know, hey, this has been working really well. They would segment, what do they call it?
Segment?
Segment. No, whatever. Segment, right, but put them in compartmentalized. So they would put them into categories, you know, wellness, activities to do, and then some event things, you know. But we would work together. So here's the deal, you know, I'll shadow. You know, I'm there
Right.
to write the grant, and say this is what we'd like to do. I've actually coordinated so many people to come in that, for instance, talk about senior living. The Aging with Grace thing we talked about having, maybe we can do it on a smaller scale. The problem is we couldn't have it at our senior center. Like Norwell ended up having it. And I'm like, darn, I wanted to be the first to have it, but they did a nice job. But they set it up in their center, and I heard it's small, like it's a home. But they were able to set it up such that in each room, somebody came in to talk about something. But we're not open. We don't have that open space like that. So if we even offered it at our senior center, we would have to have 2 people in one area, 2 people in another, and we could make it work. But would it be, I don't know how it would.
But programming is basically
talk
part
about-
of that responsibility of your
Yeah,
outreach.
But knowing this, you have to understand the industry in order to be creative enough to get people to want to come. If you don't have that understanding of what's out there, or what's free to us, or I shouldn't say free, but is available to us. These programs are so much stuff out there. You have to be spot on, you have to be dynamic, you have to know your audience, you have to know your people, what they want, and be able to pivot when you want to see something a little bit more progressive. So for instance, like, you know, offering this particular program, which would be senior living for what's an ADU? What is reverse mortgages? What are, what was the other senior living? Oh, home modification program.
Right.
I have 3 people waiting in the lurch for me to say, we're ready to go. And they're good people to understand what each of these options are available to people. And, you know, so if you do want to stay in your home, what's out there? Home modification program, do you qualify for that? I have somebody that will come in and talk about that program. I have someone that also would talk about reverse mortgages and what really does that mean, or what the consumer should be looking for when they go to do a reverse mortgage, and how it can be working, how it can work. One gentleman, I never thought of this for reverse mortgages, they thought, or was explaining that some people dip into their 401ks to start taking care of themselves as they age. And all of a sudden now, you know, maybe all they saved their whole lives, you know, and now it's going to be, you don't know how, you know, you want to live forever, but we are living longer. The hard part about living longer is we have to care for ourselves. It doesn't go away. And we're at a different capacity to handle that financially. So do you dip into your home equity or your home's home equity to care for yourself, leave your 401k for your kids or whatever you're planning for, and then the home equity, somebody's got to pay for your aging when you go along, as we know.
But a lot of
And,
people are doing the trust now, so they can't do the equity.
you know, that's the other thing too. Those are the kind of questions got to come up with regard to, you know, reverse mortgages, and if that, not reverse, you know, tapping into the home equity of your house to take care of yourself. If it is in a trust, you know what kind of care you're looking for too. So a lot of senior living reality stuff, you know, talks of that nature, but also to, you know, to have events that are fun, being able to understand that it would be nice to get out and do walking club, get the shirts coordinate with me. We can get the money to fund the shirts. I have somebody that will do them for $2.50, nice, walking shirts, and to actually have somebody that actually runs the center stuff too. I showed up yesterday because they wanted to have a class, but somebody, if it's going to be a COA activity, someone from the COA should be there because they are CPR certified, even though the instructor is too, but if it's going to be called a COA event, somebody should be present from the COA. So, but anyway, so I think we have a lot to look forward to.
We do.
Can they
We
use the
definitely
walking
do.
track behind the school?
I heard it wasn't that stable.
Oh, it isn't that stable?
Yeah, I heard there was.
Yeah, I think it's overgrown right
Oh,
now,
okay.
in some parts of it. But a lot of people walk it.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody can use it, and
Right.
even during school hours.
Yeah, that's
you
what I
can-
figured for the seniors, but if it's not
Oh,
stable.
you know what the problem with, it's hard to kind of access, and I think maybe, that's just me trying to go down that hill. You could access it from the lower parking lot, of course, there's not a lot of spaces.
Right. No, there
And if the
isn't.
kids are out at playground, like, you really can't be in that area. You don't want to be in that area, really, but to kind of go, like, park in the lower parking lot and kind of walk around, it's really not.
So I was thinking, because I think we went down there, it was a little bit bump,
It is, and it's very unstable, yeah.
it wasn't, I'd rather be at a mall.
Oh, yeah.
Go to a mall and walk.
Yeah.
Well, at least we have identified our shirts. We have to pick a color shirt. But think about a name for the center instead of senior. I don't know.
We might want to have that word senior in there.
I was thinking
In
the
all
same thing,
caps.
otherwise it'll be confusing.
Grace.
I mean, it's been senior center or whatever, we've called it a senior center forever. So just because we got a new building, why change
We're going to
that?
call it Gene G.
Yeah.
The Gene G Center
Yeah.
in Fred, for the Corrigan Center.
Ooh, that's a nice one, I like it.
Yeah. Corrigan Center. That sounds good. We'll have to vote for that.
Yeah, I like that, actually. Okay, any board members' comments or concerns? I'm not saying
Here, mine
anything.
was about the new outreach worker, and that's taken care of already.
Yeah, so hopefully that'll get posted. I just gotta wait for, authorization. Bob already gave the authorization to do it. I just, there was a couple of things that need to be talked of. So I emailed him yesterday, so hopefully he'll respond back to me.
Fred?
No?
Mr. Fred.
Mr. Fred?
It's been a great meeting. Covered a lot
We
of
got to,
ground.
Mrs. Diane?
I just don't know how they do it, Darlene and Diane, to be honest with you.
we can,
Seriously.
It's getting done.
Kudos to you two, because.
it's getting done.
Yeah, 3 hours after closing time, you go.
No, it's okay. It's all okay because
No, yeah, it's okay. right.
I don't mind,
It's a lot.
and I don't mind coming on weekends, and I'm always there. But the point is when you don't have the support behind it, and then I'm like, why am I doing this? Because you're putting your best foot forward. You're really making it work, and you have a genuine want to, genuine.
God forbid if you don't feel well or
Compassion to
something.
Yeah,
That's
and
all
I
you
didn't.
are, Diane.
It happened.
Do you have someone to call?
The Ghostbusters. I don't know. Yeah, Fred.
Right.
Well, kudos to both
Anytime
of
you
you.
need it. you
No,
just
I'm
call.
good. It's all good. It happens.
a lot.
Things happen. I think what's happening too is with the newsletter, oh Lord, hopefully we'll get to 21st century, but that newsletter is, I actually reached out to Marshfield and I talked to someone about having a sponsor for a website. And I was trying to see the center, because we spend $200 a month. That's not on the, we'll put it for the next agenda, but the newsletter itself and what we spend per month, the $200, $184 for the use of the postage. And then people's like, oh, I didn't get it. And I'm like, how does that happen? To me, that's a waste. You know, if theirs going out there and somehow they didn't get it or something, I don't know what.
Is there a big number that is stating that they don't get it?
I think they may get it, maybe they...
Throw it away
No,
instead?
probably it's in a chunk of mail, maybe
Yeah.
they put it on the tape. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go visit them. I didn't see what's going on. But all I know is, what is
I
the
get
most...
mine at home, but I get it very, very late, like.
Yeah, and it happens
Like the
because
second
that's...
week of the month or something. It
But-
definitely, and I know you send them right out.
But that's the thing, that it's a process. It has to be done by the 15th of every month, if it's not. But you have a number of different things, so this is what's happened. My responsibility's been dragged for a different direction. So then that piece of it, they used to have a person that just did the newsletter, you know, part-time. And that was great because, but I need, like, we hired somebody in Kingston for 19 hours. She now is the director. But she was phenomenal because she came in, she was a mom, she wanted to do some mom hours, and she wanted to keep busy, and she knew how to put that newspaper together. She reached out to the community page magazine, Kingston Community Magazine, and she made connections with all these different social media outlets, and that grew that newspaper, that newsletter, and she did a good job with that. So whether or not we could have that at some point, possibly, if we could get that right person, you know, to come in and want to do that and then be able to pay that person to do it, that might want to do it on the side. And I've actually talked with a number of different people to want to do that. So, but being able to know, you got to know what programs are going on. So for instance, if I'm planning something 6 months ago because I saw something, I'm like, wow, that looks good. That'll be good for January. Now I'm gonna have to remember by putting on my Outlook that in fact, that I talked to this person, I made it, and we went back and forth. We, you know, came to an agreement on what they would do it for, the price and so on. 4 people. You know, and now you got all these multiple things doing. Now you're doing all the revisions, you're doing all the, just a lot, and now you're doing that newsletter. So now you come to put it together, and now, even if now you put it on the calendar, it may change. So what if, like, for instance, the grief counselor, it was on the 19th, and it was like, wait, that's a holiday, but it doesn't come up on the calendar all the time sometimes too. So it's like, you know, when you look at calendars today, they just don't have holidays on them. But you can program it now with my senior center to do it. The only thing, we can't just take that whole newsletter and fit it into the publisher, which we're now changing over to Canva. So it's a lot. And you don't sleep.
Whatever happened to the senior help? The one that was at Recycle? I mean, were you short-staffed?
Yeah.
Did you look into that? What they said?
Well, I asked if we could steal it from this recycle.
I mean, especially where you're short-staffed now.
Yeah.
And what they said?
But I mean, she has to feel comfortable. I wouldn't force somebody to do it, what they don't want to do. However, it was...
Yeah, but it's up to the town to place her.
So when I came on board, that was another thing. So when I came on board, that person, I was like, wait, aren't they supposed to, if they're getting tax work off? Oh, tax work off would be to work with the senior center, I thought. Or work at the
whoever
center.
needs them, whatever department needs them.
So, but now what happened is that, so what happened is, I was like, wow, how do you approach that? This person's been doing the recycle and then the library for years,
Oh, well.
right?
Move on.
So now you go and
But
approach
she's only
this.
like an hour a week, right?
She has to put in so many, 40 hours, I think,
So
or
many
80 hours. I think she puts in 80 hours.
Over the course of the year.
Yeah.
The person.
I know she just does the library 1 hour a week, so
Yeah.
4 hours a month.
So I said, we need you here.
Right.
Well, what can I do here? And I don't really want, you know, I'm like, well, we have things for you to do, you know, whether it be, they have to know that newsletter too. They have to understand how to work it.
So they could help with the kiosk, they could help with multiple
Yeah, they could.
things.
That's right. That's right. So how do you force that person to do it?
Well, I don't think, I didn't think it was up to the person that was getting the tax break to say, this is where I want to be. I thought it was up to the town to say, this is where you have to be this week.
Yep, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a very good point. Yep. And that's an issue. You put things aside because of the connections, and so now you take them from the...
Is there one worker or two? I thought there were 2 slots. Oh,
There's 2 slots.
okay, but nobody's in the second slot.
No. Nobody approached the second slot.
Wow.
Yeah, but we put it out there, but it didn't, nobody took the second slot.
Really? For the tax break?
Yeah. $750 for the tax.
It's a 750 tax break?
Yeah. They do it.
Fuck. I mean, seriously, no one, how long's that been vacant, the second position? For quite a while.
Years. I've been here 5 years. 5 years, maybe? Even longer? I don't know. It's always just been one person. I thought we could open it up to more, but
Yeah, I always thought there were 2.
no, there's just 2.
No, but I mean, there's 2 slots to get the break.
Yeah, there's just only 2 slots, yeah. I don't know why.
Well, I'd stamp my feet. And say you want that person.
Yeah. So that's the thing. You pick your battles, and that was one of those things that if you, there's a lot of battles, and we'll talk about it another time on that one. But
We'll get you in
there's
on
a
that.
lot of stuff that needs to change, but it's a good thing. But I'm just saying.
Well, when is it, because she has to apply every year, right?
But I can't believe somebody else hasn't taken the second slot, if there is one. We could grab that person.
Yeah, but does it come up every year, or is it just?
Yeah.
So she's gonna have to reapply,
That's a big break.
and she must have to reapply soon?
She already did. She's already applied. It's in August.
Oh, it's in August, okay.
They play in August. But it goes out there in the newspaper. I mean, sometimes, depending on the town, they advertise, in the COA, in the newsletter or whatever, they advertise it. So the assessor's office would advertise that.
Right.
We can't be spoon-feeding people 24/7, they have to be responsible enough, hey, I want to get a tax credit for something. Let me go look on the assessor's, area or website to see what's available. There's so many different things. Now, I know that in Pembroke, what they did is they had what is a COA, and they showed different things, but they had someone from the assessor's office to come over and say, hey, what we offer is this, this, and this. And that's what I was saying. Aging with Grace was a resource that they could go and get some information from the assessor's office. Hey, what's available if you're a veteran? What's available for tax credit if you're disabled? If you have the tax write-off, what's available for that? So again, and how do you open that? I said, is there a way that when Cody was here, is there a way that we can increase it to, instead of 2 positions, make it more, make it 4?
Because of that discussion.
Yeah, because that way there we can utilize the volunteer in that way.
Because that's almost the same break as a 100% disabled veteran. That's 800. So 750, that's excellent.
Yeah, in some other towns it's about 1,000.
I know Cody was trying to raise the veteran one.
Yeah, so there's a lot of moving parts to it.
Not Cody.
Steve.
Oh, Steve,
thank
yeah. Yeah. So we gotta, there's a lot of things, but again, if you're doing all the administrative stuff plus everything else, you're not gonna get, you're wading through a lot of different aspects of everything, and there's a lot. And then making sure everything's, here. I know I had the October ones, but I don't know if I destroyed them, what happened to them, because I was like, oh, why am I carrying these around? And I shredded them. Something, I think, when I had them, because I had all the other stuff here. So, but.
Now, is that something that could be brought to Triad? The different programs and things that people don't know about.
Exactly, a lot of people are in the
You know,
dark
like
about a
maybe
lot of the
have a
benefits.
group of people like the assessor do that, and, you know, different people on the same day to bring out some of the
And I think,
things that are
well, actually,
available.
I don't know if this is the forum for it, but other towns like even give a break on dog license. Like Bridgewater, you don't have to pay for a dog license if you're a senior. There's like different perks, and I feel like Halifax doesn't offer many perks.
But the ones that they
seniors.
do, maybe they, you
Right.
know, we could just bring it
Or
up
we
and
could
try
implement
it.
some more.
At least that would get people talking and looking
I think
into
there's a
things.
money crunch here too, so I don't know what's the...
Most towns do.
I think they're probably, like, I know one town in particular said, don't advertise that because that's less money out of their pocket.
Oh, right.
You know, like, that's not
So
fair.
should
Yeah.
we talk about this next time?
Yes, we can.
What do you want me to put it down, like,
More benefits for seniors with the town.
with the town?
Yeah.
Okay.
And try to find out from the assessors if there is a vacancy for the tax break.
So see, that's what happened with Pembroke. She's amazing. The woman there, the outreach person there, she connected with her town. And she went to the assessor's office. She got them to come in and talk about that. She was really good. She did something that I saw the other day. Oh, they started the Friendly Dementia Program.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yep.
Is that a grant?
No, I don't know how.
Yeah.
But it was a program, it's not that they're actually having the classes there, but they have someone coming in during that time. Like there's a different slots where they can just go in with the caregiver there, and they would do activities and stuff like that, but they have the space to do it. So she organized that. That was pretty clever how she did it. And then some other programs that came up, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty good. So I know who they are, and I go and I look to see what they're doing. And but that's an outreach person or programs. You know, they get to know the industry so well, and they know where to get all these different opportunities that are available at the state level. You know, there's a lot of cool things out there that are being offered, and then putting it together. So I think the one that's from Norwell, Martha's been really super cool in terms of putting things together too for the dementia program.
So how many towns actually have that program?
I know Norwell, it depends on the level too, because there's different
Right.
ways that they can handle all this too. Some of them have the capacity to have an actual instructor that's certified in that, to work with that particular population, and that would be like Duxbury. So, but they're only taking Duxbury residents. So, but I know Norwell, she sent out the flyer. In fact, it's there. I don't know the date, but they were having a nice session I think it's 6 weeks, where you could go and learn from a social worker. She's an actual social worker. So we were supposed to get all that social worker person to our environment through this grant. And it was going to come through a pod, they said, and I'm talking about it again because we were kind of we were told we were going to get it, and yet we're still waiting for that to happen. So, and I approached the person that oversaw the grant, and I saw, well, how come that community got it? It was Brockton, and then the HEMOT program, a couple of the other centers got it. I found through Duxbury got it, of course. And I said, well, Halifax deserves to have that too, because we were told that we were going to. So they said it was going to happen this spring. Well, it's spring, right? Okay.
What about the tax account?
No, not spring yet. It's
Is he
winter.
on board this year?
Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah, we posted all his information.
And now
you
is
know,
this
but that
charged?
it's all going directly with him. So what was happening, we talked about that before, is that he would come in and then do his stuff, I guess, before. He still does it at other centers where he does go there and physically.
Because a lot of
do it.
people use the app and it's free for other towns.
Yeah, so, well, yeah, it's free for other towns, yeah. So we tried the AARP program.
Right, we had
but,
talked
yeah.
about that, and
And
it
what?
just needs volunteers to,
Three volunteers.
to take a class, right,
Right.
to
And-
understand how to do
Yeah, because Carver
taxes.
does it, Plymouth does
Yeah,
it.
they
yeah.
do. And Rich comes from Kingston, and I asked him when I first got here if he would come, and he said yes, he would. That's how he started coming here. So there's a gentleman from Duxbury that lives in Duxbury, and he does the tax, he oversees, he's the team leader for this program, and that it gives the consumer the opportunity to not be charged for a simple, the simple returns. So, but again, you have to, he says, well, here's the classes, he bring in the brochures, we posted them, we even put it in the newsletter, but we didn't get anybody to come forward to say, hey, listen, I will support that and I'll do the taxes, or
Right,
you
so
go
they have to take a
training.
class.
Yeah, you'd have to take a class.
Through whatever, they have to take this class, and then,
So, I thought AARP sent the person.
no, you have to find your own people.
Yeah, you have to.
Oh,
and
okay,
the-
so Carver, Plymouth, et cetera, finds their own people.
And then, the team leader, he came, he said, listen, I'll come in and do it for Halifax from Duxbury.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that's nice. So, but again, he can't do it by himself.
Right.
He had to have other people with him. And then, like I said, he's been really proactive on that, trying to make it
I
happen.
mean, it would be nice.
Yeah,
but I
Joe's-
just don't
Joe's
think
been
that-
good.
No.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Joe's been really good too, so, and people, it's just like your bank, you're changing your bank, it's kind of tough to do sometime, right? But it's
I'm
the
sure
same thing.
I'm sure he did a great job for them.
Yeah, he did.
The
He
issue was
does.
just
He
using the
does.
building to do it, so.
Yeah, and so, but we gave that option for people if they wanted to, because we didn't want people leaving their personal information there. And we're
Yeah.
like, I'm not gonna be responsible, or anybody, the staff member's not gonna be responsible for something to get to him. So we had to put our feet down on some things, so you have to pick your battles, that's what I was saying. But he was really super good in terms of supporting,
So now
and what he
people are
does.
just going to him directly? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, not at the COA?
No, because now he
has.
has a whole list he presents,
okay.
and now he charges a fee for different things. That, and for somebody 40, less than 42 or under age 60. So he has he's presented a whole new list. And I said, well, I can post that for you and let people know that what the fees are gonna be. But for him to just open shop here in, space. Some senior centers still do, Whitman does, they have them coming in, Bridgewater, they have them coming in there. So,
Sorry.
Is that Billy?
I can watch them though.
Is he raking?
I don't know, it's walking
Where
around
am
the
I, camera?
snow.
I'm gonna adjourn the meeting if that's okay with everybody. It is 11:37.
11:37.
Meeting is adjourned.